Hi guys, so we are back together again for another small group lesson. So it's actually going to look the same that it has the last couple of weeks, where we're going to do a making words lesson, and then we're going to read a book together, and then you're going to go back to Seesaw and you're going to do a little bit of comprehension practice with me. So remember, comprehension just means what do you remember from the book? What can you tell me? Okay? All right, let's get started. Okay, so just like we've done before, I want you to make sure that the letters that you see right above me, that you have those ready to go. So if you need to, just write them down on a piece of paper, cut them up, tear them up. Just make sure that you have these letters ready to go for our making words lesson. And remember, you can pause the video if you need to, and then you can pick up right where you left off. All right, guys, so let's get started with our making words lesson. So remember, do not move any of the letters until what do you think? Until I snap, okay? That's important because it gives you a chance to hear all those sounds and figure out what letters you're going to use. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Remember, think about why we're doing this and why it's important. It's going to help us with our letter sounds, help us hear patterns in words, and help us learn how we can take a small word and make an even bigger word out of it. All right, so our first word is gonna have 3 letters in it, and it's the word her. Her. Like, her mom is always nice when I see her. Her. All right, everybody say her. All right, go ahead and see if you can make the word her. And remember, you can always pause the video if you need more time, if I don't give you enough time. All right, so I'm thinking I hear that H sound, and then I hear a hunk and chunk. Can you think of what hunk and chunk we hear? There's several hunks and chunks that make that sound, but with the letters that I have, I see E, and I know every word has to have a vowel in it, so I know I'm gonna use at least one of those E's, and I know there's a hunk and chunk that makes that sound, E-R. Is that what you thought of? I bet it is. All right, so we spell her H-E-R. All right, let's go to our next word. Our next word has 3 letters in it, and it's the word see. So I'm not talking about like a big body of water. I'm talking about like how you see with your eyes. So like, when will we get to see each other? See. Everybody say see. All right, see if you can go ahead and make that word see. All right, so I hear another hunk and chunk, but this one's a lot different than the last one. So the first letter that I hear is that S sound, and then I hear E, and I know a hunk and chunk that makes that E sound, the double E, right? When you see double E, you say E, E, it's a bumblebee party. So we spell see, S-E-E. All right, good job. Let's do another word. Our next word has 3 letters in it, and it's the word eel. Like, the eel was long and swam fast in the ocean. So an eel is a type of animal that lives in the ocean. If you've ever seen The Little Mermaid, Flotsam and Jetsam are eels. Her Ursula's helpers. All right, everybody say eel. All right, go ahead and see if you can make the word eel. All right, so I hear that that double E sound again, but this time, instead of at the end of the word, I hear it at the, what do you think? The beginning of the word. So I hear the E sound, but this time it's at the beginning. And then I hear eel. So I hear that L sound on the end. So we spell eel, E-E-L. All right, next word is gonna have 4 letters in it. And this one, actually, you're not gonna do very much to this word that you've got right here. You're just going to add a letter. So I want you to see if you can think what letter you're going to add and where do you think it's going to go. So our word is heel. Heel. Like, the bottom back part of your foot is called your heel. Miss Bale would show you, but I don't know if I can get my leg up that high. Otherwise I would show you. But the back part of your foot, that's called your heel. So it's not like I'm healing somebody and making them better. It's a different meaning. So it sounds the same when we say it, but a different meaning. All right, so go ahead and say the word heel. All right, go ahead and make the word heel. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I still hear that eel at the end, but now I hear a different letter at the beginning. So I hear that H sound. So we spell heel, H-E-E-L. All right, next word has 4 letters in it, and it's the word reel. Like a reel is what film for a movie is on. So if you've ever seen like where they have film for a movie that's in like a big circle and the film is kind of wrapped around it, that's called a reel. So everybody say reel. All right, go ahead and see if you can make the word reel. All right, so all you had to do was switch one letter. What letter did you have to switch? The H. Good. So we're going to switch that H with that R sound, that R sound. So we spell reel, R-E-E-L. So we still have that hunk and chunk in the middle. And I like how we can just move one letter and it makes a whole new word. Very awesome. All right, our next word has 5 letters in it. And it's the word steal. Now, it's different than like I'm saying if I stole something from somebody, like if I took something that wasn't mine. So we've learned already there are a lot of words that when you say them, they sound the same, but they can be 2 totally different words and spelled differently and have different meanings. So I'm not talking about the word steal, like I steal something that isn't mine. I'm talking about a type of metal. So a lot of really tall, big buildings are made out of steel. So I could say a lot of buildings are made out of steel. Everybody say steel. All right, go ahead and see if you can make that word steel. Okay, I don't know about you, but I still hear that eel sound at the end. So I'm gonna leave the E-E-L on the end, but now I hear a blend, just like you practiced with Mr. Bale and his small group. So I hear st, st. So I hear that and we want to blend those sounds. We don't want to say them separately. We want to say them together and blend the sounds so that we don't stop in between them. So instead of going st, I want to say st. Just blend those sounds together. So we spell steal, S-T-E-E-L. Very good. All right, our next word has 5 letters in it again, and it's the word sleet. Sleet. Like when ice falls from the sky, it's called sleet. All right, everybody say the word sleet. All right, go ahead and make the word sleet. All right, so now we've got to switch some letters around. And we're actually going to use all the same letters. We're just going to move them around to make a new word. So I still hear that S sound at the beginning, right? And so now I hear instead of the st blend, I hear the sl blend with that L right after that S. And then I hear sl E. So I still hear that double E, hunk and chunk. And then I hear sleet and that T sound at the end. All right, so we spell sleet, S-L-E-E-T, sleet. All right, next word has 5 letters in it, and it's the word sheet, sheet. Now I'm gonna give you a hint. You're only gonna have to move one letter. So what you have right here, you're gonna keep all of it except for one letter. You're gonna switch one letter out. So like I had a hole in my sheet, so I had to get a new one. Sheet. Everybody say sheet. All right, see if you can make the word sheet. Think about that beginning sound. Okay, so I hear not a blend at the beginning. Now I hear a digraph. So remember, that's where 2 letters, it's like, well, a hunk and chunk is what I should have said. So now I hear a hunk and chunk at the beginning of that word where it's going to have 2 letters, but we don't say those letters sounds. We say a totally different sound when we put them together. So one of our very first, in fact, I think it was our very first hunk and chunk that we learned this year. So that S-H, sh, sh, sh. So all I have to do is switch that L out with that H. And now I have a whole new word. So we spell sheet, S-H-E-E-T. All right, got just a few more words. Our next word has 5 letters in it, and it's the word three. Three, like the Three Little Pigs is one of my favorite fairy tales. Three. Everybody say three. All right, see if you can make the word three. All right, so I hear another hunk and chunk in there, and this time I hear it at the beginning, and I hear it at the beginning again. The last one was at the beginning, but it's a totally different hunk and chunk. So this time I hear that TH sound. And then I hear that three. I hear that sound after the TH hunk and chunk, and then I have still my same hunk and chunk that we've been working with, that EE. All right, so we spell three, T-H-R-E-E. Good job. All right, 2 more words. So our next word has 5 letters in it again, and it's the word, and listen really carefully, okay? It's the word trees. Trees. Like they cut down the trees so they could build a house. Trees. Now, be really careful because when we say it, sometimes it sounds like there's that CH hunk and chunk at the beginning of the word. But if we look at our letters, we don't have a C up there. So we know it can't be CH because there's no C up here. So think about what sounds do you hear, what 2 letters do you hear that are blending together? Let me say it a little bit slower. And I might sound kind of funny the way I'm saying it, but I'm going to try to sound it out so you can hear the sounds a little bit better. If I say trees, trees, think about what letters you hear at the beginning. All right, everybody say trees. Go ahead and make the word trees. All right, so if you heard that TR blend at the beginning, we don't say it like that. The way we say it, it does sound like CH, but it's actually that TR blend that we want to blend those letters together with. So we start out with tr, and then we still have that hunk and chunk, that double E, trees. And I don't want to leave off that S because I hear that S sound at the end. So we spell trees, T-R-E-E-S. Good job. All right, our last word has all 7 letters in it. So think about it for a second. Do you think you know what our mystery word could be? This one's a little bit tougher. But think about it for a second. What do you think our mystery word is? All right, our mystery word is shelter. Shelter. So it was a little bit tougher. Like shelter is a place that can protect you from the weather or danger. So like your house is a really good shelter because it protects you from the weather and danger, okay? So everybody say shelter. All right, go ahead and make the word shelter. And remember, if you need to pause it, then pause the video and then you can start it right back up. Okay, so I hear at the beginning, I hear a hunk and chunk. Shh, shh. I hear that SH sound at the beginning. So we hear S, H, and then I hear sh, I hear that short E sound. Shell, shell. I hear that L sound. And then after the L, I hear shelt, shelt. I hear that T. And then I hear another hunk and chunk at the end. What hunk and chunk do we hear at the end? Shelter. You're right. We have that E and that R. So we have that ER hunk and chunk at the end. So we actually have 2 hunks and chunks, one at the beginning and one at the end. So we spell shelter S-H-E-L-T-E-R. All right, you guys did a great job. We'll probably do another making words next week, but good job. Thanks for working with me. All right, guys, so we are getting ready to read our book called The Puppy. And what you're gonna actually do is a little bit different this time. So So before you read the book, so don't watch any more of the video, I want you to actually, when I get done talking, I want you to stop or pause the video, and you're going to go back to Seesaw and you're going to make a prediction of what you think is going to happen in the story. So you're actually going to make a couple or 3 predictions, so a few predictions. So when you go back to Seesaw, you're going to see a graphic organizer that has 3 little bubbles in it, and you're going to write down or draw a picture of some different ideas of what you think is going to happen in our story. So think about the title, look at the picture, and what's your best guess? What do you predict is going to happen? So do that first, and then we'll get started reading. So on this page, you will see a word that starts with an O. It's on the second line. And that word, I don't know if you noticed when you were reading it, but that word actually has 2 words in it that when you combine the 2 words, it makes a whole new word. So in that word, we see the word over at the beginning, and then we see the word night at the end. And then when you put those 2 words together, it makes the word overnight. And that is a really good word to use what strategy do you think? The chunky monkey strategy, because not only do we see hunks and chunks in that word, we see the ER in over, and we see IGH in the word night, but then we also see words that we know. We see over and we see night. So don't forget that always use that chunky monkey strategy to find hunks and chunks that you know, but also words that you see and words that you know, okay? Do you see a word that we practiced before? I see a word that looks different than all the other words on that page. Do you remember what that's called? A bold print word. So if you knew that, good job. But remember, a bold print word in a fiction book means that we want to emphasize that word. So we don't want to read it just like all the other words. We want to put emphasis on it. So I would say that night, Ginger had another surprise for Kendra. So make sure if you didn't read it like that, go back and take a second. You can pause the video if you need to, but take a second and read that sentence again and really emphasize that word another. So I hope you liked our book, The Puppy. And remember, you've already done your work that you need to. You should have already done that at the beginning when you predicted and filled out your graphic organizer on Seesaw. So after this, you don't have to worry about doing anything else. But I hope you enjoyed our book. And a little bonus, you can think or tell somebody that's around you what your favorite part was of the book. All right, I'll see you next time.